Well, I'm back from my trip and have been for a couple of weeks now. There's so much I want to say about my 6 weeks in LA. I got home and I'm immediately asked the question, how was it? That question always gives me anxiety. I mean, what is the best possible way to effectively answer a question like that? How can I properly describe my experience without losing someone midway through my stumbling recollection of the whole thing? What can I say to validate my experience to the person asking the question, but also validate the experience for myself? I know, and I have to keep reminding myself that the person asking the question is usually just genuinely curious, no judgment or strings attached. It's just me overanalyzing once again the simple yet overwhelming question: how was your trip to LA? I'm sorry if you are one of those people who asked me this question after my trip and found yourself getting an unsatisfactory answer. I'm overwhelmed, but maybe this time in a good way. Maybe it's hard for me to explain because it's one of the few moments in life where I felt what it was actually like to change. So why did I go all the way to the West Coast in sunny southern Los Angeles, California, 2,015.4 miles away from home? The most straightforward answer to this is that for 6 weeks I had signed up to go back to school, specifically for the UCLA summer session film production course. The instructors and program runners themselves called it an intensive. Think of it like a filmmaking boot camp where you cram 4 full credit, normally 10-week classes into a 6-week period. We learned all the foundations of filmmaking like editing techniques, cinematography concepts, color theory, down to the basic of what makes a good story and one that can be translated well to the big screen. All while learning these key fundamentals of filmmaking, we began our pre-production process, which includes screenwriting workshops, director pitches, casting, shot planning, costume set design meetings, and much more. This is a lot to take in a short 6-week period, and all of this learning of new concepts and pre-production happened in only the first 4 weeks of the program. I'm not saying learning filmmaking is rocket science or even as difficult as something like physics or calculus, but there are so many factors to take into consideration. And unlike physics and calculus where you can arrive to certainties, there is no right answer to filmmaking. To butcher something Paul, the cinematography professor of the program, said, there's an infinite amount of ways you can place the camera for a shot, and all of them are correct, but only one is correct for your movie. Now that is a scary, overwhelming statement. I often felt like Doctor Strange during the whole process, trying to figure out how I could find that one perfect scenario where everything works out in the end. Obviously, this is an impossible task, and filmmaking is all about making mistakes. Luckily, I was happy to be in a place where I felt comfortable to make those mistakes. The last 2 weeks of the program was reserved for both production and post-production. We had 1 week to shoot both short films for a total of 4 full 12-hour production days. It was hectic, but I'd say this was the most hands-on learning experience I could have gotten. To be working on actual film sets with industry-level equipment was so fun and exciting. There was a ton of setup that went along with each shot, rearranging the lighting, getting the camera set up as planned, directing actors, timing the dolly push-ins, etc. I really got appreciation for movies now and the whole making of movies. I don't think I could call any movie bad at this point, knowing how much work goes into each one of them. But when you finally get the shot, there is no better feeling. The work didn't stop there because immediately after production we had to edit the whole movie in 1 week turnaround period, along with creating posters and other promotional material for the 2 short films. It was a lot of hard work, but after we watched all of our efforts come to life on the big screen during the premiere on our last day of the program, it was amazing to see what we had accomplished in such a short amount of time. After this experience, I fully confirmed to myself that this is where I want to be, and this is what I'm going to want to do for the rest of my life. I've always wanted to make movies, and I know everyone who makes these type of videos always says that, but it's true. I remember making such elaborate scribbled drawings and having nonsensical stories to go along with them. They made sense in my head. I'd reenact almost the entire Revenge of the Sith movie with my brother. I would watch almost every movie worth watching with my dad in theaters. It is only now being 25 that I realize how rare of an experience that is to have. Making video projects at school were also some of the highlights of my middle and high school years. Something about creating videos with your friends and getting the rest of your classmates to laugh and enjoy along with what you made me inexplicably happy. I don't know why I stopped, or didn't continue pursuing something that I clearly had a passion in. I and everyone around me is growing up. I don't think most of us had a chance to sit down and ask ourselves what we truly want. There are so many external forces at play in our lives where we feel the need to appeal to someone or something other than ourselves. Rarely do we think to ourselves and ask the question, are we following our dreams? To a lot of people, that phrase itself is stupid. Follow your dreams. And I'm not totally gonna disagree with you. As I wrote this and as I'm reading these words out loud, I feel stupid repeating the phrase as if it's some taboo thing to say. Follow your dreams. Gross. If you're gonna say something like that, might as well go to Home Goods and buy a couple of those live, laugh, love decorations and place them all around your apartment. Follow your dreams? Pfft, that's just something that you would find on a fortune cookie you get from Panda Express. The phrase is just that cheesy. It was my first day at UCLA, and I had just finished the first half of classes, on top of some Uncrustables and Capri Sun I had packed for myself. I decided to get myself some Panda Express because I knew it was going to be the long rest of the day. I finished my Panda Express, happy as can be, feeling like I had eaten a 3-star Michelin meal. To top off my fine dining experience, I get to the fortune cookie, open, and nearly tear up reading the generic but timely phrase, hold on tightly to your dreams. I knew it was cheesy in the moment, and these fortunes are meant to be all-encompassing and applicable to everyone and all situations. But this message, just this once, coming to me at a time where everything felt so right, couldn't have been a coincidence. And I don't think anything will convince me otherwise. So long story short, the answer to the question, how was it? How was your trip to LA? Well, it was just what I needed. It is what I needed to learn about filmmaking. It is what I needed in terms of finding a place where I could be in a supportive, collaborative environment. It is what I needed to inspire me to continue to pursue filmmaking. It showed me that it's okay to dream, and that one day, hopefully, I can make my dreams come true. Though I think it will be a lifelong back and forth pursuit. There are an infinite amount of possibilities out there for me, but only one that is right. And I'm happy to say, I think I'm at least one step closer in that right direction.